If this found you, it wasn't random. You've been carrying a frequency that doesn't fit anymore. You feel it in your chest when you wake up, in that familiar heaviness that greets you before your eyes even open. Here's what nobody's told you. You're not reading about quantum theory right now. You are in quantum superposition. Every version of you exists simultaneously, and the one that materializes depends entirely on the quality of your observation. The old frequency collapses the moment you choose to observe differently. Not through belief, but through physics. The observer changes the observed. And here's my promise. By the end of this video, with practice, your old frequency won't just shift. It'll cease to exist. 3 years ago, I woke up and something was gone. The anxiety I'd carried for years, that constant tension in my body, that shallow breath, that waiting for disaster feeling, my nervous system didn't recognize it anymore. Not because I fought it, but because I changed the one thing that writes reality. My observation. What you're about to learn isn't spiritual fluff. It's the gap, those first 90 seconds after you wake up. It's breath, posture, and presence working together as your quantum lever. Most people let their mind speak first, and that single choice locks them into yesterday's reality. You've been a radio tuned to the same station for years, but right now, you're about to change the frequency. You've been searching for answers in your head, haven't you? But here's what nobody tells you. Your body holds the frequency you're trying to shift. Every tension pattern, every shallow breath, every collapsed posture is broadcasting the old you into reality. The observation you need isn't mental, it's somatic. It's feeling where you're tight, where you're holding on, where yesterday's fear still lives in your shoulders. I remember one morning, simple, ordinary, nothing special. Before reaching for my phone, I chose to sit upright for just 5 seconds. Not forcing anything, just being present in my body. That micro moment changed everything because I'd spent years slumping into my old frequency the second I woke up. Those 5 seconds weren't about discipline. They were about becoming aware that my body was the portal I'd been ignoring. Your nervous system doesn't care about your affirmations. It cares about safety, patterns, what's familiar. When you're anxious, your body tightens. Shoulders rise, breath shortens, jaw clenches. That's not just a symptom. That's the frequency itself being encoded into flesh. Stability isn't found by thinking calmer thoughts. It's found by teaching your nervous system that this new state is home. You shift the body and the frequency follows. Here's the loop you're stuck in. You wake up tense, you carry that tension all day, and by night, you're exactly who you were yesterday. Your body's repeating the same somatic pattern on autopilot, but you can break it right now. Close your eyes for 10 seconds and scan your body. Where's the tightness? Your neck? Your chest? Don't fix it. Just observe it. That observation alone starts loosening the soil of your old frequency. Think of your body like compacted earth. Hard, dense, nothing can grow there. Before you plant new beliefs, new frequencies, new possibilities, you gotta aerate that soil. You gotta soften what's rigid. And that doesn't happen through force, it happens through attention, through breath, through choosing presence over autopilot. Your body isn't the obstacle, it's the gateway to the superposition of all your potential selves. But here's where it gets interesting. And what's coming next might be the missing piece you've been overlooking your whole life. You want change overnight, but your brain wants patterns forever. Here's the truth nobody wants to hear. Neuroplasticity takes 3 to 4 weeks minimum. Not because the universe is testing you, but because your neurons need time to rewire, to build new pathways, to make the unfamiliar feel like home. Your body's going to resist this new frequency, not out of spite, but because it loves what's predictable. It thinks the old pattern keeps you safe, even when it's suffocating you. The first 2 weeks are biological warfare. I tried changing my posture once. Sounds simple, right? Just sit differently. But my body screamed at me. Every muscle wanted to collapse back into the old shape, the old frequency. I'd catch myself slumping 20 times a day, and every time felt like failure. I almost quit because I thought, if I can't even sit differently, how can I change my whole reality? But that discomfort, That was my nervous system clinging to yesterday. It wasn't a sign I was failing. It was proof I was rewiring. Here's where kindness becomes your neurological strategy. Not some fluffy new age concept, but actual biology. When you shame yourself for slipping back into old patterns, you flood your system with stress hormones that reinforce the very frequency you're trying to leave. But when you say, I notice I'm tense and I'm choosing breath right now, you activate your parasympathetic nervous system. That's the state where new neural pathways form. Compassion isn't soft. It's the hardest, most strategic work you'll ever do. Your body needs commands it can feel, not concepts it can't grasp. Instead of, I am abundant, try, I am safe right now. Instead of visualizing success, whisper, I can choose differently in this breath. These somatic commands drop below the mind's resistance and speak directly to your nervous system. Repetition with compassion beats willpower every single time because willpower exhausts you. But kind repetition teaches your body this new frequency is sustainable, livable, real. Think of it like moving houses. The first weeks in a new place feel weird. You reach for light switches in the wrong spot, you wake up disoriented, everything feels foreign. But after a month, you stop thinking about it. That's your body accepting the new frequency as home. Your cells, your breath, your posture, they're all relocating to a new energetic address. And yeah, it's uncomfortable at first. But discomfort isn't failure. It's the biology of becoming someone new. And once your body starts believing this new frequency is real, well, that's when the magic you've been chasing finally starts chasing you. Emotion isn't something that happens to you. It's a field you're constantly emitting. Think about it. You walk into a room tense and people feel it before you say a word. You show up calm and conversations flow differently. This isn't mystical woo-woo. It's resonance. It's frequency. It's your nervous system broadcasting a signal that other nervous systems pick up. Your internal state becomes the external atmosphere. And when you shift your frequency, the world around you has no choice but to respond. 3 months into my own shift, something wild happened. I hadn't told anyone I was working on changing my frequency. I just did the internal work, the body awareness, the breath. Then, within 1 week, 3 different people asked me, "What's different about you?" Not, "You look good" or "nice shirt." They felt something had fundamentally changed. That's when I realized, observation isn't passive. When you observe your frequency with creative intention, you're not just watching yourself. You're sculpting reality in real time. Here's the part that'll shake you. You are not who you think you are. Your identity is fluid, not fixed. The you that's anxious, stuck, broke, lonely, that's just one frequency you've been looping. But in superposition, all versions of you exist simultaneously. The confident you, the abundant you, the peaceful you, they're already here, waiting for your observation to collapse them into form. You're not becoming someone new, you're tuning into a frequency that's always been available. This is where superflow happens. You stop pushing, forcing, hustling to make things work. You start being the frequency, and reality rearranges itself around that. I've watched opportunities appear not because I chased them, but because I became the person they were looking for. Your body relaxes, your breath deepens, and suddenly synchronicities aren't rare. They're normal. That's not luck. That's you living in coherent alignment with the field you're emitting. You're not a stone sitting in the river getting pushed around by the current. You are the river choosing your course moment by moment. Every observation you make of your body, your breath, your emotional state is a creative act. You're not discovering who you are. You're authoring it. And the question isn't, can I change? It's, which frequency am I choosing right now? Because the answer to that question is writing your next chapter as we speak. But there's one trap most people fall into right when they're about to break through. And if you don't catch it, it'll pull you back into the old frequency faster than anything else. You've been exhausting yourself trying to control outcomes, haven't you? Trying to make people behave differently, force opportunities to appear, manipulate circumstances into alignment. But here's the paradox that'll free you. Every second you spend controlling the external world, you're broadcasting the frequency of, it's not working yet. You're telling reality, through your body's tension and shallow breath, that you don't trust the process. And reality mirrors that distrust right back to you. Control keeps you locked in the old frequency because control is fear disguised as strategy. Letting go of control doesn't mean becoming passive, it means assuming total responsibility for your frequency. I spent years pushing, hustling, trying to make things happen through sheer force. Then one day I stopped. I stopped trying to change anyone, stopped forcing doors open, stopped white-knuckling my way through life. Instead, I focused on one thing: being different. Not doing different. Being different. And within weeks, the same situations that used to stress me out just resolved themselves. Not because the world changed, but because I did. Reality doesn't respond to your effort. It responds to your frequency. You can work 18-hour days, say all the right affirmations, visualize until your head hurts, but if your body is tight, if your breath is shallow, if your nervous system is screaming, "I'm not enough," that's the signal you're sending. Quantum physics isn't abstract theory here. It's lived experience. You collapse possibilities based on who you are, not what you do. Your observation of yourself, tense or relaxed, fearful or trusting, determines which version of reality materializes. Think of it like sailing. You don't control the wind. That's insane. That's exhausting. That's impossible. But you absolutely control the direction of your sail. You adjust your frequency, your internal state, your somatic presence, and suddenly the same wind that was pushing you backward is now carrying you forward. The circumstances didn't change. Your relationship to them did. That's the shift from control to coherence, from force to flow. When you release control, you're not giving up power. You're reclaiming it. You're saying, "I trust my frequency more than I trust my manipulation." You're letting your body soften, your breath deepen, your nervous system settle into the truth that you are safe, you are whole, you are already the person you've been trying to become. And from that place, reality has no choice but to rearrange itself around the new you. Now here's what nobody tells you about this shift, and it's the most beautiful, terrifying, liberating realization you'll ever have. You become the silent prayer that shifts reality, not the prayer you speak, but the one your body whispers with every breath, every choice, every moment of presence. Your old frequency doesn't die through battle. It dies through replacement. You don't fight who you were. You simply become so present in who you are now that the old version has nowhere to live anymore. Your cells stop recognizing that frequency. Your breath stops feeding it. Your nervous system stops calling it home. How do you know your frequency has actually shifted? Internally, you'll notice your body feels different in the same situations that used to trigger you. Someone cuts you off in traffic, and instead of rage flooding your chest, there's just space. Your breath stays deep, your shoulders stay soft. That's not control. That's genuine transformation. Externally, people and opportunities start showing up differently. Not because you're manifesting harder, but because you're resonating at a frequency that matches what you've been seeking. Observation becomes effortless because you're no longer watching yourself trying. You're simply being. 3 months after I made this shift, I looked back at journal entries from my old self and felt like I was reading a stranger's diary. The fears, the complaints, the desperation, I couldn't relate anymore. Not because I was better than that person, but because I literally wasn't that person anymore. My frequency had changed so completely that the old thoughts had no energetic home in my body. That's when I realized, I am the change. I'm not trying to change, working toward change, hoping for change. I am the embodied frequency of the life I was chasing. This is where superposition collapses into singular reality. All those potential versions of you that existed as possibilities, one of them became solid, real, lived. And it happened not through force, but through consistent observation, through breath, through choosing your body as the portal instead of your mind as the prison. You stopped being someone who wants transformation and became someone who is transformation. Every step you take now isn't toward the goal, it is the goal, embodied. Integration isn't a destination, it's a daily recognition. You wake up and remember, this is who I am now. Not as affirmation, but as fact. Your nervous system knows it, your breath confirms it, your body lives it. The new frequency isn't something you're holding on to, it's something you're living from. And when that becomes your baseline, not your effort, that's when you realize you were never broken. You were just tuned to the wrong station. But here's the thing about maintaining this new frequency, and this is where most people lose everything they've built. Here's what they don't tell you. The work doesn't end when you shift, it evolves. Your new frequency needs daily recalibration, not because it's fragile, but because life is loud and the old patterns still know your address. Every morning you need to remind your body who you are now, not through affirmations that feel empty, but through somatic recognition. A deep breath, a moment of observation, a conscious choice to inhabit your body with presence. This isn't maintenance, it's honoring the frequency you've become. You'll know when you're slipping back. Your breath gets shallow again. Your shoulders creep up toward your ears. That familiar tension returns to your jaw, your chest, your lower back. Don't panic. This isn't failure. It's feedback. Your body is showing you exactly where the old frequency is trying to sneak back in. The difference now? You catch it in minutes instead of living in it for months. You pause, you breathe, you choose presence, and you return to your new baseline. That speed of recovery is your superpower. The practice you've been doing, the body scans, the breath work, the conscious observation, it's not about reaching some final destination. It's about maintaining what you already are. Think of frequency like muscle tone. You don't lift weights once and stay strong forever. You show up daily. You move with intention. You remind your system what strength feels like. Same with your energetic frequency. You're not trying to achieve something new anymore. You're sustaining the transformation that's already happened. Your body is the instrument that plays your frequency into reality. When you neglect the daily recalibration, it's like a guitar slowly going out of tune. Still playable, but the music sounds off. 5 minutes of conscious breathing in the morning. 10 seconds of body awareness before reacting. A pause to observe your emotional field before entering a conversation. These microseconds are what keep your frequency clear, coherent, broadcast at full strength. This new frequency isn't a peak experience you visit occasionally. It's the valley you live in daily. And valleys are where life happens, where growth is sustained, where the real magic unfolds. You're not chasing mountaintop moments anymore. You're embodying the path itself. Your breath is the reminder. Your body is the compass. And your observation is the creative force that keeps collapsing the version of reality you choose to live in. Maintenance isn't boring. It's the most alive you've ever been. Here's the truth. This was never about controlling the world. It's about choosing who experiences it. Your old frequency already started collapsing the moment you watch this with real attention. The change isn't out there. You become the path. You are both observer and observed. And there's quiet power in simply being different, not trying to do different. 7-day challenge. Don't let your mind speak first. When you wake up, before anything, take 3 conscious breaths. Choose intentional posture. Feel your body present. 30 seconds total. Throughout the day, when tension returns, pause. 3 breaths. Reobserve. Re-choose. That's it. But here's what makes it real. Accountability. Comment day 1. Right now. Come back tomorrow, say day 2. Keep going until day 7. Let this community witness your transformation. When you declare it, your nervous system believes the new frequency is permanent. Ask yourself, are you ready to stop wanting change and become the change? Can you trust that 90 morning seconds hold more power than a day of hustling? If something shifted in your body watching this, hit like, not for me, but as your somatic declaration. Subscribe and turn on notifications. We're going deeper into quantum observation and nervous system coherence. What's coming next will anchor everything into lasting transformation. Your old frequency is collapsing now. Who will you choose to be?